Avoid taking salary advance. If you do not know what is a salary advance, it's the situation whereby before the month ends, if maybe you're paid at the end of the month, you go and seek for a salary advance, either from your bank where your money usually credited when you get paid, or you go to your boss and tell them, hey, you know what, boss, I have some issues, whatever. I usually pay me less a certain amount of money. I was asking if you can give me, you can sort of pay me, even if it's a quarter of my salary, so that I can sort of settle out some issues that I'm having right now. That is what we call the salary advance. Avoid taking it. And I know what, some of the banks usually call you and tell you, hey, so and so, you know what, you can actually take let's say maybe one like a good salary like of 100K, and then they tell you, hey, you know what, you can actually take advance salary of even up to like 300,000 amount of money, like 3 times. Like it's like you're consuming the future 3 months of you without even before you even work about it. See, let me tell you one secret. Today on this video, guess what? These are 10 reasons, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10 reasons why at all cost avoid taking salary advanced, because it means that you have a big problem. And today, this is the video I'm going to share with you the truth, and I'm going to share the brutal truth. Probably at the end of this video, you might not like me, but it is what it is. At least we must have one individual who is telling us the truth. All right? By the way, before even, let me just even block it. Before you even do anything on this video, make sure that at least you go ahead and support me by doing what? By subscribing to this video. And guess what? It's not just supporting me. You'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. I usually upload a video every day. So hit that subscription button. It does not cost you anything. All right? And also like this video, comment down below. You know what? That brings a lot of people on this video and make this a beautiful home for all of us. Let's get into the business. Now, here you are employed, you are lucky, you are okay. You have a salary at the end of the month, week, or the day, depends on when you get paid. Now, here you are, you have this character of asking for a salary advance. Consequence number one, you usually have what we call the short-term solution. It's true, you're gonna get that money. Oops, you're gonna get that money. It's gonna solve like that problem that you're having right now. But guess what happens? Long-term problem. Yeah, right now you have an issue that you want to set up here and there, right? Maybe you want to go out, maybe you want to buy something, or maybe say you want to, whatever it is, whether it's a genuine problem or whatever it is, the fact remains it offers that temporary solution. But guess what happens? It actually creates a long-term solution problem. Which kind of a problem it is? Whereby you have a character with and you know, I'm telling you this because I usually receive a call almost each and every day from guys who are employed, and they tell me I started the salary advance even where now, for example, I had a call from a certain lady who was I think a HR or something of sort. She was even taking some money from the office for her to cater for her things. You got yourself into a bad character of taking money every time you're with money. Every time you're out there, you're taking money, you borrow. You know, after you are done with the salary advance, you can no longer take from the salary advance. You go download some apps, you get some money from there, you borrow from people. The long-term problem here is you get the character, you get yourself indebted. Have you ever seen people with high appetite of debts and loans? They just love that thing. They cannot survive without it because they complicated their lives. That's the long-term problem that you're talking about. And for God's sake, why are you even taking a loan in the first place? It means if you're taking a loan to buy a wheat flour, if you're taking a loan to pay electricity, there is a problem with your management. The problem is not your employer. Sometimes it's not the problem the amount of money you're paying. The problem is that you cannot be able to manage yourself. You have a very big problem. I'd rather tell you the truth. Why are you even taking that? Because you didn't even plan yourself last month. Why? Because you took an advanced loan. Let's go to the next point. High interest rates. Some of these guys' loans that you're taking in advance, they tell you, oh, these loans are good, you cannot, but you don't even calculate the interest rate. Sometimes you realize you're even paying more than 20% of the interest rate. It's true. So some of them are not the best options that you can ever go for. Be very cautious and careful. All right? Be very cautious and careful, because some of these, whatever options that you're being given out there is quite expensive that you can never afford it, but you do not know. When you're paying them, you realize like a couple of thousands are gone in that loan that you did take actually out there. Guys, work on your character. Depends on how you budget for your money. If you're taking 30 days, for example, I love using this example. If you're taking a whole of 30 days to make 30,000, why are you taking 3 days to consume the entire salary of a whole month? It means you have a high appetite than what you make. You have a problem. You have an imbalance. The much you're making and the much you are eating. Even the Bible says it calls you a foolish or a stupid if you devour everything. That's not me. That's what the Bible says. You can check it out there. Number 3, hidden charges. There's some of the hidden charges and penalties that you never know. They never disclose this information whenever they approach you to give you this salary advance. And they love, running after these guys who are employed, especially by the government, or maybe it's a big and stable corporates. They have those hidden charges and penalties. Be very careful out there. You might get yourself into a murky water without you even knowing. You thought that they are your friends. Remember one thing, if you go to a bank and you see anybody and everybody smiling to you, I always tell people, don't smile back. Those are not your friends. Be very careful. They're there to make money. And in every deal, I always tell people there is a fool. And if you can't see any, you are the one. Let's go to point number 5. Risk over dependency. It's true. When you get this salary advance, you tend to, by the way, let me tell you, I was once a teacher somewhere. Back when I was in campus, I used to tutor somewhere. And we used to have a certain teacher. I don't want to mention names. Probably he's watching this video. But that guy used to have a very big problem. I still hear up to date, the guy still have the problem. And this guy would, before you even get the salary, at around 13th, 12th, 14th, actually the guy would tell us that at around 12th or 13th, hey, I'm going to get my salary advance. And he was so happy about it. And I was wondering now, what's so happy about you getting a salary advanced? And then that guy, we used to be paid like, okay, my first salary, I used to be paid 5,000. I remember that was the very first salary I was paid. Then it got added up to 7,000. I was receiving at around 8,500. That guy was a little bit ahead of me, was earning around 13,500. That guy could go and get like a salary advance of 5,500. So actually that guy, by the end of the month, when I'm receiving my 8,500, the guy is receiving way less than that. And when we are going home, the guy is not even talking to me. Why? Because I received more money. We used to be paid cash. We never used to have bank accounts or something. You know, it was just a school that was coming up. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, you having that character of salary, it can actually create over dependency. Why? Number one, and by the way, that goes hand in hand with this point of reduced purchasing power. So you have what we call the reduced purchasing power. You earn 13,000. Let's take that case scenario. You receive 13,000 per month. You take a salary advance of say 5,000. You remain with 8,000. What does it mean? So therefore, you're going to get yourself in the same problem. The reason why you did borrow this month, going to have the same reason why. The 8,000 that now you have, probably just pay for your rent and maybe do some things to do with food. Maybe transport is not there. And other developments, it's not even out of question. So you're going to develop what you call the dependency. And whenever you borrow a lot from maybe so your company or whatever the place, it comes to a point where it even tarnishes your name. All right? And by the way, that's another point out there, but I'm going to share with you. So the point is this, it can actually create what we call the over-dependency with you surviving on that basis. Let me tell you one secret. If there's something that is very addictive, it's actually loans. Loans are very addictive. And if you're smart and you know how to use loans, go ahead and use them. If you know you have a problem, even with your own money, why would you think that you'll have a good thing of good character with somebody's money? Avoid. There's some of the people who usually see and say, and I tell them, guys, these are the people who should never give them a loan because they have a problem with your money, their own money. Let's go to the point number 5 rather. Disrespect from your own boss where applicable. If you're employed and maybe you interact with your bosses and they're the one, for example, such case of mine, and we have some of the private teachers who are working here or rather watching this video, and you go approach your boss and you tell them you'd like to get a salary advance. Get the picture that you're pointing or you're portraying to them. They see you are sort of disorganized. They see that you do not even know how to plan yourself, and that particular point, you even develop this character of, even if today you get fired, you do not have anywhere to go. And the moment somebody realizes that you're desperate, they can do anything and everything to do with you. It is true. And I used to have this character back when I was a teacher. I couldn't buy things when people are buying. For example, if maybe we were paid on Friday and on Monday, everyone is showing up with the new shoes, new shirt, whatever, and everybody can actually says, you guys, you are paid. I never used to do that. I used to play what we call the reverse psychology. I never used to buy anything. At date 21, 18, 19, around there, when people are crying of whatever, that's now I'm buying a new shoe. And they used to think I'm a genius. Come on, I wasn't a genius. You just need to play with people's psychology. And the moment you behave like that, the boss realizes this guy is smart. It is true. That's how you behave. Sometimes you get some privileges. Sometimes when they want to make a decision in school, they involve you. They call you. They ask you some questions because they can see the way you plan yourself. They even tend to think like you have a side hustle that you're making. But man, you do not have a side hustle. You're actually playing psychology with man. You see, for me, I really hate doing things when everyone is doing it. For real. For example, you guys during the December, you take it as a holiday season. I don't. I view it as a money-making holiday or season. Whenever you guys are not talking about holiday, that's when I talk about you going to the... You see, I love being different because I do believe this. When everyone thinks the same, then someone is not thinking. Let's go to point number 6. Impact on credit score. Definitely. Say you default. You do not pay that amount of money in time as required, or maybe you defaulted or something of sort because of the hidden charges and the penalties. So what happens? It affects your credit score. In Kenya, you get put in something called CRB. I don't know, credit reference bureau or something of sort, meaning like you're sort of blacklisted. Nobody can give you loans or something of sort. And I believe each and every country, they have their own versions. If you're watching me from outside the country or from a different country from Kenya. So the point is this: it actually affects your credit score. So you're supposed not only to be cautious but careful, so you don't get yourself into a messy state. Did you get my point, guys? Let's go to point number 7. Is a potential of employment issues. Yeah, you can get yourself into a potential of employment issues. You can either be manipulated, because now whenever you're taking this salary advance, people view you as a desperate. You do not know how to plan yourself. They can even add, so you just rub shoulder. See, let me tell you one secret. The first thing or the greatest thing that you can ever, or you should hide from your boss or your employer, is do not show up your weaknesses. Don't try to bring home to job. Because the moment you are going for a salary advance and you are going to see, the moment you want a salary advance for the case of such case of a scenario, you have to explain yourself. And explaining yourself is to say, hey, guess what? I have a kid who I'm going to take to school. And by the way, I have this issue. Explaining yourself. So it's like this boss now knows everything back at your home. And the moment they know everything back at your home, say maybe you're telling this to a bad person. Guess what happens? They know you're desperate. They cannot fire you. I mean, yeah, you cannot afford being fired. And the moment they realize that you're desperate and your dependency to that job, guess what happens? They can even now wake up in the morning and tell you, hey, guess what? We think of adding you more subjects, case of a teacher. Or we think of adding you more responsibilities, case of a teacher, and the salary remains constant. You can be manipulated. At that result, guess what happens? You feel like these people are actually on you or something of sort. So you even feel like quitting or something. You can just have, you guys, if you can just close your eyes and see the bigger picture that I'm seeing here, you can understand what I mean. It can actually bring some employment issues. It's very, very potential. All right. Now let's go to point number 8. Impact on the mental health. It's true. It's true, guys. I wish I can, show up my calls and my phone. I show you the number of guys who calls me and then tell me like, hey, guess what, Joseph? I started the salary advance. Now where I am right now, I cannot even afford to pay the apps that I did borrow. Right now where I am, I have some issues. I'm rubbing shoulders with my employer. Where I am right now, Joseph, guess what? I cannot even realize anything. There's somebody who even called me and told me, hey, guess what, Joseph? I have a salary of 120,000 at the end of the month. I got myself into murky waters. Believe it or not, the amount of money I get per month is close to 20,000, less than 20,000. Over 100 G's is going towards settlement of the loans. It goes for the recurrent expenditure. And these loans, I ask them, okay, fine, there's no problem maybe if you invested the loans. The only thing I did, that's what they say, the only thing I did maybe is to buy a piece of property, maybe it was like 400K or something also. The rest of the money was all about consumables. Please help me. What exactly can I do? So that individual, where they are, probably, most of the people are suffering for the mental health. This is a very serious and real issue, but people are not talking about it. But then if you want to know people are suffering from the mental health, honestly speaking, there is no easier time in our life right now. There's no easier time for people to fight than the life that you are living right now. People are so emotional. And the reason why people are so emotional, you can even fight at any moment just because of a small disagreement. You can even see what happens in countries. The country can just wake up in the morning and start bombing the other just because, hey, you know what? People, it's like they're taking off the diplomacy off the table. People are now just solving the issues based on emotional base. So guys, be very careful actually when you are dealing with people nowadays, because people, they are suffering from the mental issues. And I really hope we can have a good content creator from our beautiful country called Kenya, who will be making content about mental issues and the mental health. They can be able to help people how to, because it is real. It is real, guys. It is real. And saying you have a mental issue does not mean you're mad. You see, in Africa, when you tell somebody you have a mental issue, they think you're telling them they are mad. No. Mental issue, there's a difference between insane and having a mental issue. Mental issue is when you have a lot of pressure in your head, and I hope you guys, you get what I'm saying. Let's go to the point number 9. Basically like point number 10, because I shared the last one, okay? Alternative option can actually be the best for you out there. Instead of taking that salary advance, you can cut down on your cost and expenditure so that at least you can bring down your cost, or rather your survival mechanisms, to a point whereby the salary can actually accommodate all that thing, all right? So that's the best thing. And maybe perhaps if you want to get that salary advance, get it for the purpose of starting a business, get it on the purposes of investment, get it on the purposes of acquisition of an asset that is cash generating out there. So, the point is this, guys, be very cautious and careful. Or otherwise, if you go ahead and do kind of a things, anyway, we're gonna get ourselves into problem. I am not a motivational speaker. I do not sell hope. I do share the truth about what is awaiting for you if you keep on doing exactly that. Guess what? That marks the end of my video, but don't forget this. Hit that like button and also subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, don't forget you can grab my number from the description of this specific video and we can talk business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.